Hello and welcome to the Youngfolk Knits podcast. My name is Casey and this is episode 8. Welcome. If you are a returning viewer, you know I just appreciate you coming back so much. And if this is your first episode, then welcome. My name is Casey. I'm the maker here at Youngfolk Knits. This is a podcast mainly about knitting. Sometimes I sew, sometimes I quilt and crochet. I'm also a beekeeper. I live on a small farm in Arkansas. So there's, all kinds of stuff going on with this podcast. Always chickens, though. Always chickens. If you've watched this podcast before, I love my chickens. You can find me on Instagram at youngfolk.knits, and you can find me on Ravelry at Casey Apple. So I will tell you a little bit about what's going on here in Arkansas. It is the end of December, and my whole life growing up, usually, even though, winter by the calendar doesn't start until December 21st, around there, we always had winter weather in December, January, February, and sometimes the end of November. But lately, our winter weather months have switched, and it's actually a little bit later. We really have more winter weather in January, February, and March. And November and December are not that cold. In fact, here it is the last week in December, and it's mid-70s today. It might get up to 80 degrees, and it's a bit humid, very windy. So, it's pretty unusual weather for us here. It should be colder than that. So as a knitter, it has been a little bit frustrating. It's hard to get a lot of momentum going on knitting your woolly things when it's so warm that you can't wear them and you don't really want to have it in your lap knitting on it. Hence the fact that I am not wearing any knitted items today. So I have nothing to show you on that section. I am wearing a flannel shirt because I still want it to feel like winter. Even though it's very warm outside. It's a light shirt, so that's okay. But, it's really interesting. Our bees, they should be all huddled up for the winter, and they are out hitting, anything they can find that's flowering or blooming. They're out and about a lot of days so far this month. So it's been different. We've kind of had to adjust how we feed our bees and our game plan, because this year has been very different weather-wise than what we're used to and what the bees are used to. But I'm gonna take the sun and enjoy it. It's a beautiful sunny day outside, so that does make me happy to see some sunlight shining in. If you are a returning viewer, you may notice that I'm podcasting from a different location. So I have moved my little podcast corner into my bedroom, and I can get the camera closer, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a much better spot. Hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm holding up better. My camera won't have as much trouble focusing. There's a lot of natural light coming in through all these windows, so that helps too. So we'll see how this spot goes. Maybe we'll be able to stay here. Also, stay tuned till the end of the episode, because I'm going to be talking about a giveaway, because y'all helped me reach 2,000 subscribers on the channel. So I'm going to tell you how to enter that at the end. But I guess since I don't have anything to show you that I'm wearing, let's go right into finished objects. All right, y'all. I only have one finished object, but it's a good one. I have finished my Straya cardigan, and I am so excited to have it. It is squishalicious. It is so squishy and smushy, and I love it. It's made out of Ampersand fibers from La Mercerie. So that's shoplamercerie.com, and it's a pattern by Andrea Mowry. So every year, Jess from La Mercerie and Wax and Wool, I never say her name right, so I'm scared to say it, Kirsty. It's a very pretty name. I just need to listen to it again so I can make sure I'm saying it right. But she makes most, you know, oh, she makes wonderful candles from Wax and Wool. But her and Jess, they host the Insta Friends Knit Along every year, and they in the past knit one of Andrea Mowry's patterns each year. And I don't know if it started last year, but I know for sure this year Andrea Mowry actually created a pattern just for this knit along, and she made it out of Jess's wool from La Mercerie, and that is called Ampersand fibers, and that is what I used. It's very woolly, but I think it's worsted spun, non-superwash, and I really like it. It does feel woolly. I can wear it next to skin. It's soft to me, but you can feel the wool in it. And whenever my inflammation is really high from my autoimmune disease, I have a little bit more trouble wearing. I have a little bit more sensitivity, let me put it that way. And so I can kind of feel it more, you know, but it doesn't bother me. And most of the time if I'm wearing a cardigan, I'm going to be wearing something under it, so that helps a lot. But I love this. I am so excited to make something else out of this yarn. Andrea Mowry just released a pullover that is made from fingering weight yarn. It's basically this exact cardigan, only in a sweater, you know, a seamless sweater. And I love it. I think it looks beautiful. It is exactly my style, and I really want to make one. But let me talk to you about a couple things that have to do with this sweater that are making me pause for a second when I think about that. So this sweater is worked in half fisherman's rib, and actually, you know, most of the time working in the round is the easiest because you're able to knit maybe all the time in stockinette. So in half fisherman's rib, it's easier to work it flat because whenever you work in the round, you have a purl row. When you work it flat, that purl row on the wrong side, you get to knit all the way across. So that just really speeds things up. So whenever you knit in the round, whenever I moved to the sleeves, I knit my sleeves on usually with 9-inch circulars. The Chow Goo ones are the ones that I have. And it does make sleeve knitting easier or faster for me, but it makes my hands cramp. So that's one thing I don't like about it. I need a little bit of a longer needle for my, on this hand, my pinky, so this is my left hand, my pinky doesn't really have anything to rest on. And then on this hand, my right hand, which is the yarn, the hand I hold my yarn in, I noticed that whenever I knit with the 9-inch circulars, my pinky kind of gets this little cramp in it because it's like this the whole time. And I think it's just because I don't have a longer needle to kind of rest my hand on. I do knit English style, but what do they call it? A flicker? I don't actually release my hand from the needle. I just kind of move my finger with the yarn as I'm knitting. So I think that they call that a flicker. So anyway, that makes it a little bit easier on my hands. But anyway, I digress. We were talking about sleeves here and fisherman's rib. So whenever I started knitting in the round on the sleeves, you then, on the right side, just like on the knitting flat, you do knit one below, purl one. Then on the wrong side, when you're knitting flat, you knit. Well, whenever you're knitting in the round, you don't knit that, you purl it. So it did slow me down. Whenever I was knitting in the round, there was no regular knit stitches whatsoever. It was all knit one below or purls. So that did slow me down, but I still enjoyed it. The knit along start, I cast on the day of the knit along starting, which I want to say was the beginning of November, and then we had November and December to knit it. And I finished this yesterday, the day before, and yeah, so I've still got over a week left of December, so it wasn't too bad. But when I'm thinking about the pullover that she just released, and I can't think of the name of that, but I'll put it up here so you'll know what I'm talking about. That is knit in the round all the way all the way down. So I'm assuming that means that with half fisherman's rib, you're going to be knit one below, purl one, and then purl one on the row. So knitting in the round, you're totally losing, you know, that relief row and sleeves too. But I think it would be worth it. I've just got a list of other things I need to finish first before I can even think about that. So let me tell you about my buttons. I got these buttons from, okay, hang on. My hair is always attacking me. I got these buttons from La Mercerie as well. And I think they just make the sweater. I really love it. I love the buttons. I love the color. And I think they go perfectly. The size and everything. They just make me really happy. And I tried this on. It did grow quite a bit with blocking, but not as much as I thought it was going to. I was very careful about I was very careful when I blocked it and I took it out of the water, because I knew that with this fabric it was going to just soak up the water, be very heavy, and I was worried it was going to pull on the sweater and really stretch it out. So I was super careful. I did, when I block, I've always put my knitted items after they're wet, and I've got them out and I've tried to push out as much water as I can. I'll lay a towel down and I will carefully lay out my sweater, let's say, inside the towel, and I'll kind of wrap it up, and then I'll roll it up like a sausage, and then I'll stand on it and smush the water out. And with this, I did that in one towel, and then I unrolled it and I put it in a new clean dry towel because that one it was soaking wet by the time I got done, and the floor was wet. So I mean, that shows you how much water was still in it. And I did it a second time in another towel and I still got a lot of water out. But that, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing 2 towels, because I was able to then lay it out on my blocking mat and pin it and turn a fan down on the ground, blowing right on or over the top of the sweater, and it was able to dry in a day. And I have had trouble with my knits drying because it's often humid here, and I think I must not be getting enough water out. But this time it went much better. So it only took 1 day to dry. So I was happy. But I will be wearing this a lot. I love it. And she did offer the mini skeins or they were like half skeins, not minis. They were halves of the contrasting colors that were the original colors of that Andrea Mowry used in her sweater. But I got different colors, so I wasn't able to get that. But I'm telling you what, I didn't even use a half of a full skein. I mean, I feel like I could have used a mini just for these stripes. I have so much left over, and I'm trying to think, I may have ordered enough yarn for the size 6, and then I changed my mind and decided to knit the size 5. I don't know if that's what I did, because I don't have a very good memory at the moment, but I think it is because I have an entire skein of my main color, which was Pompadour 02, and I have an entire skein of that has not been touched, and just a little bit of my fourth skein. So I have a lot of this yarn left over. I think it'd be great in a colorwork sweater or something like that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but right now it's just going to be some nice stash yarn I'll have available for another project. So anyway, that is my Straya and my only finished object this week. So let's talk about some works in progress. All right, I have a new cast on that I literally cast on this morning, and I have only just finished the cuff, and I've just started working the leg, and these are going to be some socks. So this is the Wildflower 2, I believe. Wildflower 2 is the colorway, and it's by Playful Day Yarns, and it's kind of this purpley pink color with lots of speckles in it, and I really like it. It's nice and muted, but this is going to be the main color. So what I'm making is the Toadstool socks, and I believe it is by Stone Knits, I think. But I am in love with that pattern, so I'll probably make more than one. But anyway, let me show you my colors I'm going to use. So this is my main color. This is going to be the toes and heels, and it is, let's see, I hope you can see that. If not, I'll put it right here. This is called Golden Rose, and it is also by Playful Day Yarns. And then for my mushrooms, I've got a couple different reds, but I think I'm going to use this one by Little Line Head Knits, and it is flannel, something flannel, no, plaid blanket maybe. I'll look it up. So that for the mushrooms. And then this mini, I had a mini skein that I had left over, and this is going to be the white of the mushroom. Yeah, so I'm hoping there's enough of a contrast between this white and, or it's kind of a milky off-white, but I hope this kind of cream color, I hope there's enough of a contrast between it and my main color. There is in person, but I don't know if you can see it as well on camera. So you basically, for the pattern, to get different sizes, you use different size needles, and I decided to use the 1.5 because so you can use a 1, a 1.5, or a 2 US sizes. I've decided to use the 1.5 because when it comes to color work in sweaters I have no problem. It's usually very loose because I make an effort. I'm very conscious about spreading my stitches apart, and sometimes it's too loose. But when it comes to socks, I think it's because of the small circumference knitting, but my color work is so tight. So I definitely wanted to go up to the size 1.5, and I think that that's going to make them be nice and loose. You do increase quite a few stitches for the color work portion, and then you decrease it back down, but I am super excited to get these socks. And I love mushrooms. I love them. I love the toadstool mushrooms. I just think that they're all extremely adorable. So I think this is gonna be really cute. And I want, sorry. Excuse excuse me. I want to make a little bag out of I want to make a quilted bag, and I think I want to have like a little mushroom print in the center of it. I don't know, I'm feeling inspired by mushrooms lately. Probably because I've been watching The Gentle Knitter. That's probably why. But I've always loved mushrooms. I think they're really cute. So I'm gonna be working on these. I'm gonna make another special episode later this next week or I may make it January 1st, because our Bees Are Friends knit along that my friend Becky, who is on Instagram at A Hand Knit Letter, her and myself are hosting that knit along, and we're going to be making the Humblebee shawl by Lyrica from Fiber Tales. And got lots of stuff to talk about that, and I'm also gonna be casting on that on January. We're all casting it on January 1st, but I may make a little video. I'm planning on making it a special video that's all about Bees Are Friends knit along, a little mini cast on party, I think. So I am about to be starting on that project. I've got these socks going, and off and on I'm working on my little girl's sweater that I showed y'all last time by Petite Knit. And I did not finish my vest because I was pretty much solely working on my Stride cardigan the last couple weeks. So I am now going to focus my garment knitting time on this, and I think I'll be able to finish it really quickly because it's worsted. Wait, is it worsted or Aran? Anyway, I'm going to start focusing back on this and get it knocked out so I can wear it. I am so excited. Hey man, I might even go with this. But I think, you know, I've got a couple shirts that I'm excited to wear this with. So I want to hurry up and get that knocked out. And I've missed working on it. So I am using the Biche et Bouche in their Le Gros lamb's wool, and it is in the color light brown, and it's a pattern by Irene Lin. It's called the, I believe, Lana vest. It's either that or Lana or Lana. I'm going with Lana. So I'm gonna get back working on that, make some progress, hopefully. Okay, so let's move into acquisitions. So Jessica McDonald is a pattern designer. She makes the most beautiful patterns. I love everything she designs. And she just released a book, and let me just tell you, it is gorgeous. It's called Woodland Ramble, and it is full of children's patterns. Okay, it says, a cozy collection of hand knits for children by Jessica McDonald. And I basically want to knit everything for my kids, but my favorite pattern in here, and the first thing I want to cast on, is called the Birch Sweater. So let me get a good picture of it. Okay, this is it. And it is stunning. It is so beautiful. Those cables, oh, it is just, and there's texture all over it. It's just beautifully textured. So that's the first thing I want to make. And then there's a cardigan in here called, let me see, it is called Tamarack. So this is the other thing I want to knit very quickly. I love the texture on it as well, and the collar. But so the Birch sweater, let me tell you what it is. Okay, so the Birch calls for sport weight yarn, and I have got some Chickadee, no, is it Chickadee from Quince & Co. in my stash that I already know I want to use for for this sweater, so I'm excited to get that on the needles. But Jessica very kindly sent this book to me, and I am so excited. It's beautiful. Also, you know, if you don't want to wait for the hard copy, you can get the ebook on Ravelry. And also, if you're joining the Bees Are Friends Knit Along, she's gifting one of these to one of the winners as well. So she's very generous and very sweet. And she makes the most gorgeous patterns. There's mittens, there's hats, sweaters, colorwork sweaters, cabled sweaters. I mean, it's like all you would need to make all the knitted things for kiddos. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about that book. So, the other thing that I am wanting, now that I finished my Straya, I'm wanting to get cast on ASAP, but I'm trying to will myself not to cast it on until I finish my vest, which shouldn't take me very long. But I showed you guys this a few episodes ago, the Shetland Trader Book 3, Heritage. So it's actually the cover sweater. And it is Vair. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, but it's V-A-I-R. And I love this book. I love every pattern in it. But I am wanting to make this sweater in the black, but I do not want, I'm going to do it without these colors on the body, because I think it will be a little bit more wearable for me and more flattering and more my taste. Although I love this, and I may do one with that on there also, but I think for the first one I make, I want it to just be, you know, all black for the body, and then the color work section up here, I'm going to use the same colors that she recommended in the book. And I also got the colors to make this brown one as well. And I couldn't decide which one I want to make first, but I decided to make the black one first because it's so striking. I just love it. So everywhere was out of the main color black yarn that it calls for. Everywhere it's sold out. So I ended up getting this black yarn. It's the color Crow, and it's Quince & Co. Finch. So it's just a plain black yarn. It's a non-superwash fingering. And I'm trying to see if I don't think it's merino. But it doesn't, it just says American wool. So I'm not sure what wool it is, but it is so much softer. It's very soft. It is so much softer than the Jamieson & Smith yarn. So I'm actually kind of glad that I ended up getting the Quince & Co. for the body of the sweater, because I feel like I would have just had a really hard time with the Jamieson & Smith on my neck and, you know, for the body of this sweater, especially with the turtleneck. So I'm really glad that I ended up with this for my main color. And then for my contrasting colors, okay, it's gonna swarm on me. I have got the ones that are called for in the pattern for that main sweater in the black. And it is Jamieson & Smith. Let's see. This is Jamieson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight. And this is Shetland Supreme jumper weight. So those are the two different yarns that they work really well together. And I am very excited to make that. I think it's gonna be absolutely beautiful, and it has these great big, you know, fancy sleeves that just add so much to the sweater. So I'm hoping I'll be able to cast that on soon. You know, my plans, if the creek don't rise, that is my plans. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys was this new book I got. So it is called The Modern Herbal Dispensatory, a medicine making guide by Thomas Easley and Stephen Horn. And we grow a big garden. I always like to grow herbs, and I love to drink tea. And I feel like there's been a lot of things that with my autoimmune disorder, modern medicine has just not been able to do a whole lot. Now, the main thing, I know things that I have to avoid, but I'm very interested in if there's some different herbs that I might already be growing in the garden that I could use to help with some symptoms, or relieve some of the symptoms that really bother me. Maybe something simple that could really help me to feel a little bit better on a daily basis. So I'm excited to read this and see what I can learn about not only what herbs to grow, but how to prepare them and how to use them in the best way to hopefully help my improve my health. So I'm excited for that, and I'll share with you guys if I find anything really good that maybe some simple little preparations. Even talks about how to put things in capsules, and it's very interesting. So I'm gonna be reading that quite a bit later. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading that. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode because, like I said, I'm planning on recording another episode this next week, all about the Bees Are Friends knit along. Becky is enjoying some family time, so she might not be able to get with me again for another podcast for a few weeks, but we are both going to be casting on our humblebee shawls, and I'm going to talk about some different yarns that might be good substitutes for that shawl and all kinds of stuff. All things Bees Are Friends knit along. So keep an eye out for that. A little bit of farm news. So our 8 remaining hens are still, they're still hanging in there. We have 2 each left of 4 different breeds of hens. And one of them is a white Colombian Wyandotte. And all of our hens have these, old country singer names like Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, Shania Twain, Tammy Wynette, just lots of them. But one of the white ones, my daughter loves the Swan Princess, and so she had named it Odette because she thinks it looks like a swan. Well, we got home, we drove up, and it was being attacked, and we scared off the varmint and saved it, but it had been injured quite a bit, and so my husband sprayed some medicine on the chicken, and it's a blue medicine, and you can see where you're spraying it that way a lot better. But you spray it on the wound, and the feathers, of course, are still there for a long time. They do molts and get new feathers, but they keep those feathers for quite a while. And so there's this big blue streak where the medicine is. They're still, showing up on those feathers. And we nursed that chicken back to health. We would bring it little bits of water and food, and it has finally been accepted back into the flock, and it is doing really well. So we have changed Odette's name to Blue, And there is 2 reasons for that. One is because of the blue medicine that we have sprayed on it. And the other is because those chickens are like little velociraptors running around the yard all the time. If you have ever seen Jurassic Park, it looks just like a velociraptor the way it runs. I swear that they watched chickens and that's how they made those dinosaurs, specifically the raptors. So in the newer, you know, there's the old few movies of Jurassic Park, and then there's a whole new set of characters. Jurassic World, I think is what it's called, with Chris Pratt. But he has a raptor named Blue, and she's very smart. And she's the leader of the pack, you know. She's his raptor. And so that's the other reason that we have named this one Blue. And so that's what we have started calling her. And I think she likes her name because she responds every time we call her now. Blue. But the chickens are doing well. We may be getting another rooster because my sister-in-law's family have some roosters that they're going to be passing on along, and I think we may get one of those. So we're trying to decide if we should go ahead and get a full-grown one and try to introduce it into the flock, or wait until spring and get a baby and raise it and then introduce it slowly to the flock. We'll see. We're still deciding on that. So that's pretty much all the farm news. I did cut my own hair this week. I feel like my hair is so much shorter. It's too long. So I decided to try to cut it myself, and it was a little bit scary because my husband cuts his own hair, and we've been cutting my son's hair for, I don't know, for years now, since he was a baby. My husband does it. I say we. I've only done it once, and I was no longer allowed to do it again because I got the buzzers and got too far above his ear. So yeah, I got my privileges revoked, my haircut privileges. But it's so hard to get in, and with COVID, and I don't know, it just seemed easier to try to do it myself. I do think that I don't think I would be able to color my own hair ever. I just would not trust myself. So I don't even try. And I think that the hairstylist could shape it much better than I ever could. But I wanted to give it a go, so I looked up the unicorn haircut. And I don't know about y'all, but my hair, this side of my hair right here, grows much faster than this side. So it always, after I get a haircut, it'll get, you know, a few inches longer on this side than on my right side. And I don't know why that is. It's either breaking off or it's just not growing as fast. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a video of me cutting my hair. I put it in a reel on Instagram. But I did not show that before I even did that, I first of all cut off about 2 or 3 inches just to try to even it up before I got started. So that was not included in the video. And then I cut, so then I did it where you pull all your hair forward and put it in a ponytail, hence the unicorn haircut. And you pull it forward and put another ponytail at the bottom, and then you trim, above the ponytail. And I think that if you cut it at an angle, you can kind of you can get a V shape. Well, I did that, and then I got scared. So I ended up just cutting it straight, cutting the ends straight. And that's why I've got, my ends are straight. So then I put that down, and then I got, from here forward, I got half my hair and brought it forward and did another ponytail and did the same thing again to try to give myself some more layers. And I'm really happy with it. It feels so much lighter. I cut off about 5 inches, and the ends just feel so much better. So I think it'll be a good option to be able to cut my own hair when I need to, and then when I want to go in and have something done, I'll still be able to do that. But that is pretty much all of the goings on around here right now. So I have one last thing. If you have stuck around this long, thank you. So I recently was able to hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel, and that just means the world to me that you guys are even interested in hearing what I have to say about my knitting projects and our little piece of Arkansas over here. And I just wanted to tell y'all thank you. Thank you so much for coming back and supporting this channel. So I wanted to do a little giveaway, and the winner is going to receive a Ravelry pattern of your choice. Anything under $10, you just pick it out and you can let me know which one you pick and I will send it to you. So to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, and then in the comments tell me your best chicken name, your best idea for a chicken name, because we're gonna be getting some new chickens and I'm gonna need some new ideas. So just type that in the comments and let me know that you subscribed also in the comment. And I will pick a random, I will use one of the random name generators and pick a winner from the comment list. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of the year. I hope you get some time to relax and rest or do something you enjoy or something creative. And I will hopefully see y'all soon. Bye.